Welcome to our live stream of high school sports. Please note that this broadcast is produced by an independent team of sports enthusiasts, and the views, opinions, and commentary expressed are solely those of the commentators and not representative of the schools, teams, or athletes featured. While we strive for accuracy, occasional errors or misstatements may occur. This stream is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. Thank you for joining us and enjoy the show.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Hey, you ain't never seen nothing like this. Ain't no telling how it might get. It's the hypest right here. High school sports at its finest. So many highlights, you have to rewind it. Hey, Stream City, let me just remind you. The heart of a lion, the team full of fighters. So many stars on the field, it'll blind you. They're giving everything they got till the time's up. Yeah, legends in the making. History is made. We just getting started. You ain't seen a thing. YSN, gotta know the name. They gon' bring the flames. They gon' do their thing. Take it to another level, don't hold back. High school, got a passion and we show that. Got the drive and you know they got the heart. Number one spot for your high school sports. Let's go for the win. Hey.
Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to YSN Live right here. I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Anthony still holding it down in the yo, my friend. It is good to see your face after a day off yesterday.
Yeah, it's nice to see, and I'm happy that you arrived safely. That's always thing number one, check mark there. So happy to see that, and how was the trip? Was it a long 10 hours, or did it go pretty smooth?
So this is the first time that we've done the wake up in the middle of the night and go. We've usually done like a halfway stop. So we travel with South Range. They were the first to invite us down years ago. And usually they stop, I think it's in Virginia somewhere, and then overnight it, and then, wake up early in the morning and finish the trip like they're doing today. We decided it was a little bit easier and more efficient for us to just gun it in the middle of the night. So we left at 2:30 from our humble household, and we only had 3 stops the whole way. So I was pretty proud of my little unit here.
Awesome.
Of being able to hold their bladders. And not completely blow up the rental van that we had to make it down. Chris Colucci is down here with us. He's going to help us with some games. Ty Bartell arrives in 4 to 5 hours down here in Myrtle Beach. But yeah, like it was. I don't know if it's my preferred way of travel from the middle of the night and just hammering it 10 hours in the car. But it certainly was efficient. So. Can't complain, and I love the food down here is so good. So good.
We've done both on our long trips to Kansas City. It's about 14 hours there. We've definitely split it into 2, but sometimes you get to a spot, you realize there's no hotel, and you're just like, well, you know what? Guess we're going to gun it. And we gun it. So we've done both ways.
The dangerous part was West Virginia. Like there's so many hills and windy turns in West Virginia. But it was in the darkness and nobody was on the road, so it really wasn't bad at all. And then you get to, I forget even where it is. It might be in Virginia where there's like these ginormous hills and, the truck runoffs, which are crazy. But then you realize that like it was great when it was dark, nobody was on the road. And then when the sun comes up, everybody's trying to get to the place as literally as fast as they can. And it was wild. It was a wild scene.
It was, yeah. And then you just never know who's going to be on the road. Road warriors can be wild too. I've had share of experiences with craziness on road trips, but definitely happy you're down there safely and ready to do games this coming week.
Yeah, well, ready and wanting to are 2 different things. Like I'm prepared to do games. Once you get to the beach, it's kind of like, man.
Do I have to?
Do I really have to work while I'm down here? And then, of course, halfway down, and we're in the West Virginia mountains, and I guess our site, the Big Dogs, went down. So it was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So I couldn't do anything until about 4 o'clock. So we've got checked in and everything. So, but Big Dogs is back up, folks. We're good. We're good to go. So don't worry about it. And yeah, we'll do. I know we have softball covered 100. Whoa, 100%. So we're excited about that. I think Ty kicks off the softball coverage from Ripken, fingers crossed, on tomorrow actually. So he's got a double header scheduled, and then of course it's Easter. Happy Easter, and then we'll have you covered from pillar to post, a few baseball games and a lot of softball here on the network.
Yeah, and although our show was off yesterday, the softball and baseball teams in the area were not off. We had a lot of good games go off yesterday. We had really great weather for one of the first times this year. I mean, it was like 65 and sunny. It felt really good out there.
Wow.
And these teams took advantage of it. That's for sure. Some big scores that we got, if you go to the YSN scoreboard, brought to you by Burnett Pool Spas and Hot Tubs on ysnlive.com/scores. McDonald, I did this game. They went to Poland and got the big shutout victory, 2-0 over the Bulldogs. That's a big offense for McDonald to pitch that well against Aubrey Evans. Had 5 innings of no-hit work, and then eventually gave up 2 hits but no runs. Struck out 16, only walked about 4. So a big night for her and a big win for McDonald on that front. A lot of blowouts last night, actually. But a big win for Jefferson. They were excited about it too. They made. I don't know if you saw the messages on social media. They were poking some fun at the headline that we used for Perry in the game before. So they were having some fun with it. Perry is a team they wanted to beat real bad, and they got him this time 7-3 in Jefferson. So a big win for the Falcons. You can find a recap of that game on ysnlive.com. Maplewood softball fell for the first time this year. They fell to Rootstown 9-8. Kind of a pickup game. They were expecting to play Bloomfield. It didn't work out, so they picked up a game with Rootstown last minute. And when those games kind of happen, anything goes. And
COVID style.
Yeah. Rootstown knocked them off 9-8 was the final score. Baseball, I think the marquee game was Crestview and Columbiana down at Eastwood Field, called by the fantastic Joe Eusebio. Crestview got the win with a late spurt, 4-3, a very good baseball game on both sides. Very exciting for both teams, and Crestview comes out victorious in that one.
Yeah, I was able to kind of lock in from down here. I wasn't able to watch the game because dinner reservations down here, by the way, they're something. They are something. But I was able to kind of track it, and congratulations both teams. I know Columbiana coming off a couple tough losses. And this was a game that everybody wanted. This is the Battle of Columbiana. Both teams claim it as their home. Crestview and obviously the Clippers. So, and this is a game that they kind of make it feel important. They get everybody involved. I know like the youth teams are involved in this. And the community really comes together around this. So I want to give an absolute shout out to everybody that's involved in games like this. This is how the high school games should feel, especially on a Thursday night. Getting locked in. So kudos to everybody involved, and congratulations to both teams, but especially the Rebels for pulling up the dub in that one.
A couple of big conference splits as Lakeview was able to knock off Poland. They split that series with the Bulldogs. 5-3 Lakeview gets the win, and then LeBray came back and got a win over Newton Falls to split the MVA series 1-0. So 2 really good baseball games there, and 2 teams that really needed a conference split after losing the first one. You never want to get swept by a team that you're fighting for the conference championship with. So Newton Falls and Lakeview, both teams that feel, LeBray and Lakeview, both teams that feel like they can compete with an MVAC championship, both end up getting the split with the teams that beat them earlier on in the week. So LeBray gets to win over Newton Falls. Lakeview gets to win over Poland. That's a really big win for Lakeview because Poland was thought of as the perennial favorite in the NE8 this year.
Yeah, you look at, it's turned into that season of it's anybody's conference, and there's going to be some big wins early, but it's going to be those teams that can put it together when their backs are up against the wall. And certainly in the NE8, in any sport, it feels like any team can win it on any given night. And as long as they can string a few of those together, that can be the case. So Poland's been the dog, no pun intended. They've been the dog across the board in baseball this year. I've had people telling me that they're not going to be surprised. It's the best pitching they've seen across the board for a long, long time. And they're not going to be surprised if Poland ends up with a state title in their trophy case. But give some credit where credit's due. We're seeing some teams come out swinging against Poland.
And then the last score I want to talk about is Boardman getting the sweep over Howland, 4-2. They get the win. Back-to-back great pitching performances from Boardman. They held that Howland offense to 2 runs the last time they played, 5-2 win for Boardman. This time around, the same offense comes to town this time. Boardman holds them again to 2 runs and gets the 4-2 win. So 5-2, 4-2. Boardman sweeps the Tigers, a team that was looking really, really hot coming into that series. And the Boardman pitching staff doing a fantastic job keeping that offense at bay.
Well, I think we talked about Boardman being one of the standouts this year, and they're still a young team, and they've got, I would say they've got lower numbers than usual than we're accustomed to. But man, the pitching they have, the youth movement that's happening for the Spartans, you could talk about it all day. You've got the big bang boom punch for Boardman with Kurlik, with Knifer, and certainly with Resitar. But the offense has been there to back them up the entire way. So I think Boardman's going to be a tough out in the playoffs. I know they got a long way to go, but they've got 3 dudes that can really step up and lock you down, and good defense that helps too. So we'll see how it goes. But man, Boardman's been a team that has certainly impressed us across the board here at YSN.
Yeah, and that was a Howland offense that had been scoring, double digits every time they came out. So to put that team on notice, that's just a tremendous pitching performance from.
We're seeing some of this right now, Ant. Yeah. We're seeing some of this.
Yeah, well,
some of these teams that were off to fast starts, kind of slowing down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Teams that were struggling, rising up. That's what we always talk about. Water always finds its level. And people are sitting there and they'll go, oh, okay. No. Baseball, more than any other sport, water will find its level. You're going to know who you are by the end of the season for sure. There's no surprises.
And baseball, more than any other sport, is pretty fickle. So you can have those games where, hey, you know what, a team sneaks up on you or something, and it can get real weird sometimes. Baseball standings can get weird. Jen Coons in the comments section wants to know how's the weather. How's the weather out there?
Hang on, I knew we were gonna have to do this. Hang tight. I hope I have the battery to do it, but we'll go for a little walk here. See if we can go. I see Leanna just popped in, so we'll put the brakes on that for 1 second. All right, so we're in a condo, which we love, and I mean it's decked out to the nines, but we're gonna give you a little taste. Taste of South Carolina, taste of the beach. You ready, Ant?
I'm ready.
All right, buddy.
I'm already seeing the reflection of the door.
Look at that.
Woo!
Look at that.
Oh, man. You get to hang out like
floor number 8, baby. That's where the parties are. It's wild. I mean, it's here. I hope I don't drop this.
Early mornings and late nights on the porch watching the beach. There's nothing better than that.
And then, can you see the...
Whoa, got a little bit of vertigo there. We're all good. Don't look over the edge.
I don't want to drop the computer. We've spent enough money. We don't need another $3,000 computer. You imagine being down there and just a laptop falls down on your head? So yeah, the weather's nice, Jen. It's 76 degrees today. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. I know you guys have weather that's just as good, but the view might not match.
Yeah, we don't have the beach in the ocean. But what we do have
a reservoir.
We have a reservoir. Oh man, what we do have is someone coming on the show that is pretty dang special in her own right. The backstop for Poland and someone that made a pretty big decision yesterday on where to spend her future. We're gonna bring her on. We're gonna let her talk about that and much more. From the Poland Bulldogs, it is junior catcher Leanna Bocherry.
Hi.
Hey, girl. Leanna, thank you for coming on. I know it's your first day off school, first day of spring break, and you're spending it with us. We appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. We teed it up for you at the top of your intro. I want to start with the decision you made yesterday and the announcement you made yesterday. For people that didn't see, I mean, talk about what decision you made yesterday.
So yesterday I announced my verbal commitment to St. Bonaventure University. It's a D1 school up in New York, and I'm really excited for this opportunity to play and continue my career.
they're going to have to start renaming that university Poland U, because I mean, there's starting to be a real flag being planted over
Mhm.
there. What were some of the factors that made that feel like home?
Well, my dad did go there. He played baseball there, so he when I was growing up, he would always talk about it. So I kind of was familiar with the name and stuff. And when I went to go visit it, it was just a great community to be around. Everyone's so friendly. When you're walking around on campus, everyone just stops and says hi, says hello. Campus is beautiful. You're surrounded by the mountains. And, Coach Threehouse, I just love him. He's a great person. And, that definitely convinced me to to decide to go there.
How much did the fact that a couple of former Poland players go down to St. Bonaventure play into your decision making and making you feel a little bit more comfortable down there?
Definitely, it made me more comfortable, like seeing someone from Poland, Abby and Brooke Bobby, go to St. Bonaventure. Just kind of made me thought, like, I can do this too. I can succeed at the D1 level up there. So it just gave me some confidence going on to play.
Leanna, we're certainly proud of you from the standpoint of being able to go to the next level. But what you have been able to do from leadership, and we talk about leadership a lot, but when it comes to leaders, there's a lot of names in this area that talk about leadership, but your name stands out amongst them. What kind of leadership have you been brought up to kind of utilize and to be? And has it been different than other people in your family, namely your dad, to be a leader in the community and on your teams?
Being a leader, just especially being a catcher, that kind of has to be your number one factor. I always try to be positive with all my teammates. My dad's definitely a great leader. I definitely learned some things from him, but being the catcher, as stated, just takes a lot of leadership and confidence. And my dad, just being one of the role models in my life, definitely helped me become a better leader on the team.
As a catcher, one of your jobs is to motivate and to really build a bond with the pitching staff you have. And so far, Lily McDonald doing a really good job, and so is Medbeck when she gets her innings as well. What's it been like to kind of try to build up these younger pitchers that are kind of getting a lot more innings than they saw in years past to try to get the most out of them?
I think building confidence is definitely one of the harder things as a pitcher, just going out there, throwing your game. And we definitely have the defense to back them up. So they just need to trust their teammates, their defense behind them, and just throw their game.
So I guess when you're as a former catcher, one of the most important things that nobody talks about is building those relationships, building that kind of confidence behind the plate that a pitcher can throw anything they want at any given time, and you're going to be back there to take care of it. How did you kind of build that chemistry with your pitching staff or whoever? I mean, because I know you're in a lot of different avenues when it comes to not just Poland. You're playing travel ball, certainly, and you've had to catch a lot of different pitchers along the way. So how do you build that chemistry quickly in order to make sure that you're a better catcher for them?
I always try to be personable, just be nice to them, show them that I'm there. I'm going to back them up however they're doing in their game. Just building that connection is really important. Just trying to be friendly.
You're always friendly, Lily. One of the things that I love about catchers is there's just a special breed of just toughness in catchers. You're getting a ball thrown at you at 55 to 60 miles an hour from 43 feet away, and it could be in the dirt, it could be upstairs. Whatever it takes to stop that ball from getting past you is what you're going to do. Talk about your mindset of being a catcher and how much you've grown into. I'm going to be a brick wall back here.
Mm-hmm. So coming into as a freshman, catching a D1 pitcher definitely helped me shape myself into who I am today as a catcher. Just as my dad says, being a dartboard back there, putting my body on the line, just try to stop the ball if it's in the dirt or in the air. Just trying to help my team back there.
All right, we know that being a dartboard, you're going to possess some bruises in your career. What are some of the worst catching injuries or catching bruises that you've had that you can speak of?
Definitely a concussion, I would say, is the worst.
Oh.
During summer ball, I took a couple of foul balls to the head. So, that wasn't great. But other than that, just a couple of bruises, but I can shake them off.
You're also a multiple sport athlete, like a lot of people at Poland are. Talk about how much that well rounds you as an athlete and as a person to be able to constantly be involved in different sports, be coached by different people, and lead a different group of girls.
So being a multi-sport athlete it just brings me a lot of confidence because I can be a leader in all three of the sports I play. I learned how to interact with people, different like calibers. I know how to talk to people like after they make a mistake. I know who to talk to and who to just, leave alone and let them cool off. But yeah, I would say being a multi-sport athlete definitely rounds me out as a leader.
And as good as it is for Poland, and it is great for Poland, other communities are sitting there wondering, geez Louise, can we just get rid of this Bucheri girl? Can she just like, there are so many people that were so happy that you committed yesterday thinking that you were a senior, that they're like, okay, we never have to play her again. Oh no, au contraire, mon frère, you got another year of her. I mean, that's got to feel good for you knowing that there's so much respect given to your name every time you take the playing surface.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely great to see that my hard work has paid off. Countless hours in the gym, working out, hitting. I'm really glad to see it paid off.
We've been talking about your defense and your catching so much. I don't want to let your bat go without talking about, because you're one of the top averages on the team right now. You're really hitting the good bats so far this season. What's been working so well, especially with all the stop and go of softball? It's hard to find a rhythm with the weather we're having. So what's been the main factor of having so much consistent success for you?
Just going up to bat with a lot of confidence. It's really easy in the sport to get down on yourself, but you fail more times than you succeed. So I just try to remember that when I'm up to bat. Just think about the work I do in the cage, and just kind of bring that into my at bat. Try to be consistent and hit the ball.
We're going to talk about your role models here just a little bit, but some of the people that maybe helped you out as you were starting your career, or even in middle school, motivating you to become the young lady that you are today, on the diamond, I should say just on any playing surface that you're on. But who were some of those people that you've garnered a thing or two along the way about their leadership style or the way that they play the game?
One person that really stands out is Mary Brandt, playing softball at RMU, having a great season. Her just being there kind of helped me settle in a little bit. She's such a nice person to be around. She's a great leader. I strive to be like her one day. But she's definitely one of the teammates that have helped me become the person I am today.
You might get to play against her one day, because St. Bonaventure and RMU, those teams are liable to kind of square up and be on the same softball field at the same time.
Who wins, Leanna? Who wins?
Come on.
We're going to have to find out.
My daughter just yelled, I win. This is why we can't have Myrtle Beach hours.
No one's going to have a scouting report like Leanna, so she's going to be like, hey, I've played with this girl for 4 years. I know how to pitch to her. When you think about all the things that you've done in softball and the things that you've been able to accomplish, what are some things that you're really proud of yourself for being able to do so far?
My batting average, I'm very grateful to be above 300 all 3 years of my career. Definitely shows my hard work in the cage. I made first team NE8 last year as a catcher and sophomore. So that's just makes me happy to accomplish that.
What are some of the toughest things? I mean, everybody thinks that it comes easy to you or easy to someone that does very, very well. What are some of the biggest challenges that you faced along the way from, growing your game? Was it the hours in the cage? Was it catching? Was it something else? Was it the mental aspect of what softball has brought you? What are some of the bigger challenges that you face that maybe you don't tell people about?
Definitely the mental aspect of this game has to be the hardest. It's so easy to get down on yourself, talk down on yourself. If you strike out, it's so easy to get down, and that can affect your play going forward. But I'm continuing to learn how to deal with that. Just leave it in the rearview mirror. The windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror, so I always got to look forward and just continue playing my game.
As we're talking about kind of, like you said, coming back from the mental side of softball, self-talk is important. Being able to tell yourself after a bad at bat that you're going to get it next time, and you're not down in the dumps, like you said. How much have you grown in being able to talk up yourself instead of talk down to yourself in your head when you do have maybe an at bat that doesn't go your way?
I've definitely improved a lot. I remember last year there was a little bit of a stretch where I had a couple strikeouts. But this year, yesterday being an example, I popped out to the pitcher, I struck out, and then my third at bat, I hit a line drive double to left field. So, you just always have to stay positive in this game because it can change just like that with one good at bat. So just have to be positive.
Do you feel relieved that you made the decision yesterday? Does it help you kind of compartmentalize and say, okay, this is checked off my list, and now I can just focus on what I'm supposed to do for the next year and a half?
Yeah, it was definitely something I could get off my plate. Now I'm just going to focus on continuing to improve my game and helping my team win.
Outside of your parents, who were some of the first people you told, outside of social media, of course, when you committed? Who were some people that you had to let know before the world did that you were committed to St. Bonaventure?
I let my teammates know, obviously, and because they're a part of who I am as a person. They've shaped me into who I am, but they just support me in everything I do, and I'm thankful for them.
Wow, first off, your answers are some of the most polished answers we've ever had on this show. So kudos to your dad and everybody around you for being able to do this. Secondly, I think you're at like a hunting cabin. It just feels like that you're somewhere where there's going to be a deer head or a boar's head somewhere. Is that accurate?
Well, I'm actually in my sunroom. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
No boar's head around here. No deer head.
You guys are a hunting family?
Not necessarily. My dad goes
hunting those dubs.
Those dubs.
In all seriousness, I mean, when you think about the legacy that you've created, and you still are creating, you still have that pen. What do you want people to remember you for, Leanna, when it's all said and done in the next year and a half?
I just want people to remember my leadership skills. I want people to learn how to be personable with other people. I always try to be nice to whoever on my team, outside of sports. Just being nice overall can definitely have an impact, and I just want to be remembered by that.
All right, one of the things I want to know before we let you go, of course, is I want to know your softball icks. I want to know the things that maybe you see other players do around the game that does give you that cringe. We got to know.
One of my pet peeves is people not caring. I know it's kind of a trend in high school softball to just, it's just like high school softball. It doesn't matter. Travel softball is the only thing that matters. But I want to win. And it's frustrating to see some of my teammates and some other players out there just not really care for the game or not really put their heart into the game.
I'm blown away just how good you are. These are just random questions we're throwing. There's softball ick. I don't think you've probably ever been asked that question before, and you still, boom, like state representative coming at you, whammy. So we've talked about your family a lot. You come from a great family with great people and have done a lot, not just for, I'm sure, you and the family, but the community in this area. Why are you so proud to have that last name across between your shoulder blades, essentially, when you're playing travel softball?
My dad's legacy obviously is going to be hard to follow up on, but it's just a good name to have. My siblings have all succeeded. My sister went to play. My oldest sister went to play softball at Cleveland State. My second oldest sister played soccer at Mount Union. It's definitely a big name to carry, but I think I can go on that level.
How much? Sorry, you got a follow up.
I have a follow up. Sorry. So those names, a lot of times, like you said, they can carry weight, but they can also overshadow the younger sibling.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that? I mean, not that it's a bad thing, but do you feel that pressure every time that someone you register to do something and someone sees your name, or do you think that, okay, I'm going to use this as a positive and I'm going to take that and I'm going to level up as much as I possibly can?
Having my last name is definitely a positive, but I think I can live up to it. I know what I'm capable of and, what I can accomplish. So I'm very confident.
Not a lot of people that are going through a recruitment process can have the people that you do that rely on that say, hey, I went through it. And like you don't have to look far to have people in your corner that went through exactly what you're going through right now. So talk about how much that helped. How much did it help to have your sisters and your dad to say, hey, I went through this recruitment process. I know what it takes to get to the next level. How much of a help was that?
It was a lot of help. It gave me the confidence because this is definitely a hard time period in a lot of people's lives. And I'm just glad I had people to rely on to tell me it was going to be all right. It was going to work out.
I'm all out of questions, but I can tell you that it has been such an honor and a privilege to be able to watch you grow into the leader that you are today. We're so excited always to have you on here and to see you just dominate. I mean, you are an incredible, and it's from one catcher to another, you are about as good as it gets, kiddo. So keep on doing what you're doing. We're proud of you, and we'll continue to watch you back here.
Thank you.
Anthony?
Nope, you got it. Thank you again for the time, Leanna. Once again, middle of the day on your day off. We appreciate it. Good luck today against West Branch, too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Leanna. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leanna Bocherry. We got to get that cleaned up at the end there, buddy. We got to.
We've been doing so good. That was like the first one we botched.
Button that up.
We're still batting 950. We're good.
I don't know about 950. We've had some.
Interviews. Our interviews have been on fire. Other stuff. I don't know. Interviews. We usually got our T's and I's crossed. Today, we
see right there. We don't cross eyes, Ant. We don't cross eyes.
See that? Oh my gosh.
925.
I should just stay away from metaphors and similes.
No, I think that having someone like her and not just in your community, Poland's very lucky, don't get me wrong. But when you're talking about the conference, when someone like that can represent your conference on the field, off the field, in a classroom, but in front of a microphone, that is something that I think more conferences, more regions, districts need to start taking advantage of, because these young student athletes, and Leanna's just a junior, she's got another year of this. And I think it's a big miss because, yes, I get it. You want to hear coaches talk. You want to hear seniors talk. But that's one of the reasons you and I, we're on the same page with this. There are freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, coaches, assistant coaches, umpires, community members that deserve a microphone in front of them because they have a story and they have a lot to say, and you can learn a lot from these people. And it's not great to hear from the same people over and over and over and over again because, the story gets old. It's like watching I guess it's different than when you're younger, because when you're younger, you like gravitate to one thing and just it's comfort. But as you get older, you want to hear more stories. Her story, and I think we've still got a lot of meat on the bone when it comes to talking about Leanna Bocherry because, like she said, she is a legacy player. She's got brothers and sisters that have been there, done that, bought the T-shirt. Dad is obviously the guy that's been carrying the stick for that family and people, is a household name. But his kids are as well. And that is something that you can't just point to and say, hey, this is what I want to happen. Your children have to go out and earn it. And the Bocherrys as a whole, as a family, have certainly done that. And kudos to them because that's just incredible. Because you just hope as a dad that, has a little bit of that popularity with the last name. I want my kid to go take it up to the next level. And that's what his kids are doing. So I'm sure he's smiling like a butcher's dog.
Oh, it's got to be. And it's funny, every school, when you grow up in it, I grew up in South Range, you grew up in East Palestine, I'm sure you can relate to. They have those names that kind of echo throughout the halls, those last names that you just see in the Hall of Fame. And you have kids that are still in the high school when you're there. And now you still have guys that are still there as well with the last name. You just families that kind of ring through the whole legacy of a school. And I think Bocherry is one of those names for Poland that just kind of keeps coming and the legacy keeps ringing. for the Poland Bulldogs when you talk about the Bocherry name. So to have Leanna come on and kind of continue that and to be able to grow it during her junior season is just another reason why you have names like that ring through the halls.
Well, that's, I mean, it's an very interesting topic because there's a lot of people, myself included, that, I'm very proud of where I've come from, very proud of where I graduated from. But we chose to send our kids to South Range. And one of the main reasons, the reason that we always come back to is we want them to be able to kind of make their own story, create their own story. Because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people that, they, played sports, but they want their kid to kind of do it on their own. And they don't want to have to answer for any skeletons, good or bad, that are still living in their closet, or stories that naturally, people have, or they don't want people to say, well, that's the way because this person was here. Like, my kid's got a fresh story. Both of them, they're going to have a fresh page to write their own story on. And that's exciting. So I can only imagine to be that, like my younger sister hated having the last name on the back of her jersey just because she had to be my sister. She had to live up to what I did. Like, it was the paving the way. And when you think you're doing a good job, you think you're doing, what's right. It's not always right for, a younger sibling or necessarily a son or daughter, or any kind of family or relation. So it's a challenge, but like I said in the interview, and like I mentioned to her, that Bocherry name just continues to be up and to the right. So congratulations to them.
And it's funny that you say that because I'm not a parent, obviously, and I think I would kind of struggle with that because there'd be you being solid points that I think a lot of people don't think about because they're so ingrained in I want my son or daughter to go to where I went to because I'm so proud to be, an alumni of whatever school you go to. But there's also this thing of like, hey, sometimes kids just need to be somewhere fresh and be somewhere where, they don't have to live in your shadow a little bit. Even if you're not doing it yourself, there can be a lot of people that kind of just expect something from them because of the last name that you have out there. So I think we're going to see a lot less of those family lineages maybe than we used to before open enrollment. That's going to change a lot of these, family lineages in the high school that go across generations because now one generation can say, you know what, I'm not feeling it here. I can go over here.
Well, and I think that's a solid synopsis because you look at there's a lot of reasons to go somewhere else. There's a lot of reasons to stay. I'd be lying to you if I didn't think about, hey, my kids are going to be East Palestine Bulldogs and my kids are going to be, but like, life happens. And most people, the frustrating part about open enrollment is 95% of people, and this isn't a study, this is just a random guess, 95% of people think that open enrollment has everything to do with sports. And it's just not the case. No. And some people will say that, oh, well, it has, we're just as good as this. And you might be in several different categories. But there's a comfort level. There's a level of this feels like home or this feels like, and it's more than just school. It's, what travel team you're on. What, does this present the best opportunity for my children? Does this present the best opportunity for my family? All of this goes into it. And it's weird because we went from the Bocherrys to this, but it's very, it's very challenging, nowadays because you're almost graded on everything you do and not just graded between the people within the four walls of your home or your neighborhood. It's your community. It's other people's communities that say, well, that kid's only going there because such and such, or because he wants to start as the quarterback, or he wants to be the starting catcher, or whatever it may be. And the parents, while they have the opportunity to speak out and say, this is why, I'm going to be honest with you. And excuse my language, you don't know shit to anybody from that standpoint. You don't. Right. It's your decision. It's your bed. You get to lay in it. You've made, you've built that up to be able to have your family, to have your peace with whatever decision that you have. And good for you for making it, for standing up, but it's also your decision that you have to live with. And parents
Right.
need to understand that too. And the frustrating part, the people that abuse, and any freedom is going to be abused.
Yep.
You need to understand that. There are people that will abuse open enrollment. There are people that will abuse moving their kid
NIL.
from place to place to place to place to place in order for their kid to succeed. And my thing will always be, if you need to do that time and time and time and time again, you're not worth your weight in salt to be able to do that. You're not a competitor, because competitors, if they're running away constantly and trying to find that right slot, it's never going to be right. And I'll tell you this, coaches and people of influence at the next level have told me that time and time again. If you are a job hopper or you are a school hopper or team hopper, coaches will say, I don't care how good that kid is. I'm not going to have to walk on eggshells around that kid, his parents, his guardians, his playing time, all that stuff. And also hers, I forgot to include. It's a two-headed monster that it's again, freedoms are always going to be abused, but the people that don't abuse them are seemingly the ones that are always get the arrows shot at them.
Well, I think that's one of the unfortunate things of our culture is the ones that get abused are the ones that get the attention. So there's the ones you hear about. They're the ones that you don't hear about the kid that's doing the right thing, right? Those are the ones that are getting articles written about them outside of YSN. And the other reason why there's a stigma about it's only about athletics is because the kids that transfer to a school because of the academics and go into National Honor Society and have a 4.0 GPA, they're not getting attention either. It's like there's no one talking about Joe over there who went from one school to another because he just wanted a better education opportunity. Maybe they had, some class options that his other school didn't have, and he's able to, kick butt in the classroom over there because of it. That's not necessarily getting attention like someone that transfers to this school because he's going to be the starting quarterback and he goes on to be an all-state quarterback because he went to this school. That gets headlines, but the kid that's, kicking butt in the classroom because he transferred and maybe gets a big scholarship, no one really talks about that in the media or anything. So that's why people don't see it. So they feel like, well, the only reason open enrollment exists is because you want athletes to go from school to school. There's a lot of kids out there that don't play sports and open enroll for a lot of different reasons than just I want to be in a different, sport team.
But we can't talk about that. That's I mean that's it's the same reason, and I can say this because I'm one of those parents. You don't move your kid or open enroll your kid in kindergarten to make sure that he's on the varsity football team.
Right.
Like that's a long ways away, cowboy. Like it's funny to me.
Keep his spot open, coach. 12 years.
I'm telling you, he's QB1. He's gonna be there. He could throw a football over them mountains. Like it doesn't happen like that. Like it's open enrollment and just genuinely going from school to school or changing your kid in their address of where they get their education is about that, or it's about the comfort level or the attention they receive from a standpoint of this is going to be the best pathway to get them where they want to go in the future. It's not for the right now. That's why it's funny because you see all these, people that are just uneducated on the situations. They'll be like, well, South Range has 80% open enrollment. Huh? No, they don't. And you go count how many players on that roster, or not just South Range, any roster are open enrollment. And go back and see how long they've gone to that school. Now, if they go their freshman or sophomore year and it's strictly because of sports, you'll be able to sniff that out pretty quick because the stories will follow them. But don't be picking on these first graders and second graders and kindergartners because their parents stayed out and said, hey, we want this kid to go to this school because of X, Y, and Z. And guess what? With administration, with superintendents, and that revolving door happening as much as it happens nowadays, there is still a chance that kid goes back because the culture can change seemingly overnight. And that's the thing that people don't seem to remember is it's just like you see it in the transfer portal in college. You see it in the workplace, in real life, in careers. If a boss leaves and someone else comes in and they're going to clean house, there's a lot of chance and opportunity for that person to be like, you know what, this isn't what I signed up for. I'm going elsewhere. And that's what these schools, these admins, these school boards have to remember and have to keep it right here in the front of their mind, is that culture can change overnight. And the decisions that you make, sometimes you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So, we've seen a lot, and we haven't addressed it on this show, but we have seen a lot of things going on in the area, in the region. And you sit there and you go on both sides and you kind of do we're sitting there in the middle, and we're, full disclosure, you and I have talked about it offline. We are in a lose-lose situation. If we say one thing or the other, no matter what our personal belief is, we are a company. We are in a bad spot. So that's why we stayed away from it. We've been called cowards. We've been called, this needs to be brought to attention. Unfortunately, we're a business. From that standpoint, we have our own personal opinions. And certainly, if you ask someone off the air, I'm sure that they would tell you about it. But that's not our role to get in between any source of community backlash. Like, that's not who we are. We are not after your attention. We are after putting these people, whether they are coaches, school board members, student athletes, we're going to put them on a pedestal, and we're going to talk about the great things that they've done. We're not going to talk about the frustrating things in a community and drag it down to the underlayers and try to do it for clicks. That's not who we are. That's never who we will be. We're not Barstool. We are not, the news outlets, the ipso facto news outlets that are just trying to garner attention during these times. That's not who we are. We've never been like that. We'll never be like that. But there is a truth to these school boards. These schools need to understand that with open enrollment, there is a choice to be had every single year, and it doesn't change when you get older. It's the same way in, like I said, in a career path. Like if you decide you don't like to work for me anymore or with me anymore, you can go, hey, guess what? We'll see you later, buddy. You can go start your own podcast. You can go do whatever you'd like to do.
Right.
But there's also the outlet of, okay, I'm not going to have the luxury of people knowing where I am anymore. I'm going to have to build that all up. It's one of those weird situations, right? That people have to make those choices and live with those choices. Now, that's one of the great things about our country. We have the freedom to do so. But like you and I said already, those freedoms can be abused, and people will always do it. Drill this in your head. People will always abuse those freedoms to make sure that they are benefiting from them, no matter who it burns in the process. So that's
the sad thing. But you'd take that over no freedoms any day. Trust me.
Thank you for coming for my TED Talk.
Thank you. Yes, what a TED Talk on this Good Friday. It's a good TED Talk on Good Friday, DJ. But yeah, I love that we just had this. I love that we had this conversation, just kind of going off of an interview. It's a good conversation to have. It's one that I think needs to be had.
Well, it's funny because it has nothing to do with Leanna Bocheri or any of the Bocheris at all.
No.
It just kind of started into that because there's a lot of pressures nowadays on these kids, on these parents, because everything's documented. Like there's things that I'm sure you're in the same boat because you were kind of you're younger than I am, but you were kind of on the back end of the no computers, like no personal computers, no phones, no anything like that growing up. Everything is documented now.
Oh yeah.
And that's like social media from a standpoint of like everything you do. If you give your son or daughter or anybody a social media account, it's documented, it's saved forever. Whether you delete the tweet or whatever, somebody's got it, right? So everything you do is going to be documented. There's a lot more pressure on parents now and coaches knowing that everything's documented. And I'm not just talking about what you say. I'm talking about what you do. I'm talking about how you make people feel. Because, my coach, I can be mad at him for a week for benching me or for telling me that I'm not going to play a certain position that I want to play. And a week goes by and I'm like, man, why was I mad at coach again? Or why was I mad at mom and dad again? And now it's you dial this thing up, and then all of a sudden you can go back and remember, and it actually re-engages you into that frustration. You know what I mean? Great for chips on your shoulders, but not so great for parents that are asking for forgiveness or trying to teach their kids or coaches trying to teach their student athletes a lesson. It's a tough world right now, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. And like I said earlier, sometimes you just can't take that toothpaste out of the tube. And there's people that don't understand that, you know, but there's also people that don't forgive. And I think that is one of the greatest tragedies that there is anywhere is there's very little forgiveness. Go ahead.
I think a lot of people confuse forgiveness with reconciliation. They think because I'm forgiving this person, I have to put them back in my circle of trust, and they have to get. That's not the truth.
No,
you can forgive somebody without getting them back to where they were before they did whatever they did to you. But forgiveness is all about you releasing the anger that you have towards that person, and that's something we need a lot more of today.
And that's the big one, right?
Right.
Sometimes you got to forgive so you can help yourself out.
Right.
From a standpoint of like, let yourself breathe a little bit. And every time you see that person, you don't want to like engage like hard.
Right.
You know, it's one of those things. I agree with you 100%. I've struggled with that because, you know, it's tough because we are in an industry that people want our attention for the attention of someone else or themselves. And we have to be very careful about the relationships that we engage in and the people that we trust, because you just never know who they're going to tell or what they're going to tell or anything. Because, you know, as we become household names over the last 8 years, and very humbly so, it's one of those things like you and I don't go around and march around like we're somebody. we're not. We're nobody.
We self-deprecate almost every day on this show. How not of somebody we are.
We stink at this, and it's you know, it's frustrating. It's frustrating from that standpoint, but you learn to accept it. You know, you have to make sure that your family kind of keeps that Heisman pose up, because you don't know who's going to come in it and try to you know, be with you for 4 years and then all of a sudden just disappear. It's weird. It's a weird thing that after that time, some people just, they don't recognize you anymore. They don't, you know, they're done with you. They kind of throw you on the scrap heap, which is fine. That's the name of the game here. But it's also frustrating because you're like, man, like I thought we had something really cool. Like we did a lot for that particular person, that particular family, whatever it may be. And woof. 4 years is gone, and we'll see you later.
Yeah.
And then the younger generation comes around, and then they're back.
Right.
But
hey,
we don't recognize that. We don't recognize that.
Remember me? I ditched you guys like 3 years ago, but now I'm back, and you know, do the same thing to my younger kid. Oh, wait a minute.
Forgiveness. That's all it is. It's forgiveness. It's being a good host. And not just on this show, because neither one of us are good hosts at this at all. This show, I don't know why people watch it. We stink. Like I was watching, you know, I always watch Pat McAfee, right? Yeah, but like he was talking about his show, and he gets so frustrated. Like he'll be in the shower thinking about his show, and he's like, I don't know why anybody watches. And I have the same revelations. I'm like, why do people watch these two goofballs at noon when they could be watching anything else or nothing else? You could be staring against the wall sometimes and probably have better content than what we put on here when we go on our tangents. But that's why you love us. That's why you love us.
Hey, if you come here for that, then God bless you. Sit down, get the popcorn ready. That's what we bring.
Good show. Thanks to Leanna Bocheri for stopping by. Oh, I don't know what that was. Did you hear that?
No.
It felt like thunder. It was not thunder. It makes me nervous.
No, don't want any of that.
Quick story. Last year, we were not in this particular condo. We were in this hotel. But I don't even know if it's called a hotel. What is it called when there's a bunch of condos? Is it just a condo?
I think a condo is actually named for like the building, not the actual.
Unit.
Yeah, the unit. That's
okay. So the condo.
condominium.
So the condo is the whole thing,
Yeah, I think so.
and then is it a unit?
Yeah.
Okay, so we
Technically.
weren't
I mean,
in
everyone
this.
just says condo for their room, but really the condo I think is the big unit.
I just feel pretty cool about saying condo.
Yeah.
Like it's like because it makes me think of condor, like the bird, the attack bird. Is this a unit in a condo? Sweetie, or is it- she knows everything. So is the condo like this, or is what is the whole thing?
The whole thing would be they're all condominiums, they're all condos. The whole
Condominium unit? I don't like the word condominium for
Yeah,
natural.
we've Americanized it. We've shortened it. It's this condo.
Well, because nobody
we
wants
like
to say
shortening.
condominium. 'Cause
Yeah, no one wants
that
to
sounds
say
like
that.
something you pick up at the 7-Eleven.
No.
I'm just saying, there's nobody's going to disagree. I don't like it. I think this is a unit. The condo is the whole thing. Regardless,
Yes.
we had one last year, and there was like 2 or 3 people that weren't even stationed here at night, and they were like just raising all kinds of hell outside, and it was bad. And I want to say that it was Easter night, and like they got chased out of here. It was like watching an episode of Cops. It was kind of wild.
What you gonna do when they come?
And I will say this too, that here in North Myrtle Beach, the Walmart is the most exciting thing you will ever partake in. Like it is like the Canfield Fair every day at Walmart. It is just a gathering of individuals scattering. There's no you remember the COVID lines? Like you had to go in a particular order. Like the majority of the places we go shopping in life outside of Myrtle Beach, people kind of still follow that. Like, okay, I'm going to go here and here and here. They might, scatter from here to there. But Myrtle Beach, it reminds me of if you had you remember those runts, like the banana, the orange, the candies, the runts?
Oh, yeah.
It's like you throw them all into on concrete and they just scatter. It's the most wild thing. Like there's no rhyme or reason for anybody to go in any aisle ever, and there's just people standing everywhere. And you're like, are you gonna buy that, or are you just gonna stare at it and just be in the way?
I bet. I mean, I wouldn't know, but I bet that's because Myrtle Beach is probably full of people that don't live there. They're there for vacations. They don't know where everything is in that particular Walmart.
Sure.
So if you go to Walmart down in Salem, most of the people that go to Walmart there are not vacationing in Salem.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I mean,
that's a destination spot, baby.
So most of the people kind of know where everything is. This is their Walmart, their home Walmart. I don't think there's the percentages are probably askew in Myrtle Beach of how many people are. That's their home Walmart. And that's
all I'm saying is Jen Coons is selling the Northeast Ohio weather quite nicely now. It could be Salem could be a destination as well as Hanoverton this time of year. I heard it's beautiful. It's absolutely.
Storm Tracker 21 temperature right now is 74 degrees. A little windy, but that's okay.
Man, well, the wind just it adds to the ambiance of Northeast Ohio.
When it's a cool wind on a hot day, that's fine. When it's a cold wind on a cold day, that's when you don't want it.
Really? We got a special guest.
Oh man!
Want to say hi to the people? Say hi.
Hi,
What's your name?
my name's Z.
He can't hear you, but
I can hear
you. Having
you.
fun? Okay. All right, you're good. You can go. He's playing his Switch. I will say this, that I wish more schools would do this. I wish more schools would take this week and would come down here or to Tennessee or wherever, because it's such a way. We talked to the coaches about being able to unify your team, right? And kind of put everybody arrows going one way. Unlike the Walmart here in Myrtle Beach, everybody will be rowing the same direction. But we're so excited, and I wish more schools. I know that it's a sacrifice. It's a it's a lot of money, to be quite honest. You got to raise that money, or parents have to be able to utilize that and pay for it. But I think that the memories that you create are something that you can't pay for. And I know that's going to sound weird, but everybody wants to go to Disney World and they want to create the memories and they want to do that and they want to do this and they do it. But to do this, like, fingers crossed, we're going to be here. We've been here for years. We're going to be here until hopefully the kids graduate, to be able to look back as, in 20 years and go, man, remember all those years at Myrtle Beach?
Yep.
We made that part of our life every single year. I think that's the win. That's the victory that everybody looks for. That's the victory that all the parents look for. And yeah, softball, baseball, they get in the way a little bit because that's the reason you're down here. But I can tell you at the dinner table, when we're sitting around this weekend, we'll be watching WrestleMania together because we have to be together. Like when you're at your home, you could just kind of like the Myrtle Beach Walmart. You just kind of separate. But you have to be together and you have to make those moments and great food, great people, the nightlife, a little nuts, a little crazy. But if you like people watching, it is the spot to be. And I'll tell you what, they got baseball down here. They got the Myrtle Beach Pelicans. You can go to one of those games. They got so much to do. We're going to a place, Ant, this weekend that dinosaurs come out, like, to the tables. Like, kids think it's real dinosaurs. This is people in dinosaur costumes. But they're coming out.
But don't tell it. No, those are real dinosaurs, DJ. You can't break the illusion.
That's why I lowered my voice, because I got one sitting over there that thinks it's real. The other one, Z-Man, he's calling the shot. He's like, they're not real. That's just a person in a dinosaur costume.
Yeah, until that dinosaur comes right at him, and then he's going to think it's real quick.
Well, dude, they do look real.
Oh, yeah.
They look real. Like, if you didn't see the dude in jorts underneath like his legs, you'd think it was real. But there's also a 2-pound steak or something like that they give you, and they call it like the dino steak. I'm coming for you, baby. I'm coming. I think it's they serve them at the place in Struthers. I can't remember what it's called. It's like the shank steak or whatever it is.
Okay.
The I don't know what it's called. But
we come for the dinosaurs. We stay for the giant steak.
I'm gonna tell you what. That'll be the first ever dinosaur that becomes extinct twice in the universe, because I'm going to absolutely demolish that thing. So
just call yourself the next asteroid.
They're gonna call
for you.
DJ watch your asteroid, buddy. Just watch your asteroid. All right, you ready to close this baby up?
Yeah, let's spark it up.
Couple people we should thank probably before we give it a spark. Our dear friends at Greenwood Chevrolet, who have been a long time advocate and sponsor of this show and shows that are connected to this show. And tell us about our friends at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Greenwood Chevrolet, there's still Car Care Month, everybody, and it's going on for a couple of more weeks. So if your car is in need of any kind of service, whether it be brakes, tires, oil, whatever it may be, make sure to check out the service department at Greenwood Chevrolet. They're going to take care of you. Make sure your car is up to shape during Car Care Month. Take advantage of it. Get down there. They'll go the extra mile for you in the service department. They'll also go the extra mile for you if you're in the need of a new used vehicle. They got you covered down there too. They got some brand new Chevy Silverados that look real slick. Make sure to test drive a Silverado today. Get down to Greenwood Chevrolet, whatever your need may be, and they'll take care of you.
And if you, like myself, are going to take any long journeys, and I mean long, 10.5 hours from 2:30 a.m. all the way on, we saw seemingly every Toyota we had, and we were jealous, absolutely jealous, because we got the keys to this Chrysler, whatever it is. I don't know.
Probably a Grand Am, right?
I promise you, I wasn't in a Grand Am on the way down with
minivan,
5 people.
Is it a minivan?
What is a Pacifica? Something Pacifica?
Oh, Pacifica could make sense.
Yeah, we have Pacifica. Now, don't get me wrong. It's nice. It's above average. But what I'm going to tell you, our friends at Toyota of Warren, they got the hookup because they have some of the most luxurious cars. Now, if you're riding 10 minutes or 10 hours, you're going to want to check in with them and say, hey, listen, I'm looking for a comfortable vehicle, something that I can get around in, but also something when I roll up, people, it turns heads. When you roll up to that Walmart in Myrtle Beach, you want people to be, who is that? That's why you got to go to Toyota Warren. Ask for Tino, specifically the general manager. He's the guy. He's going to take care of you. He's going to get you hooked up. Jimmy over in finance. He's going to make sure that you're not paying or overpaying, I should say, on anything that you get. Everybody talking about tariffs right now. You're seeing commercials about tariffs. Listen, that's fine and good. The people at Toyota, they're going to take care of you no matter what. They're going to make you feeling good about what the time you spent there and the money you spent there, and you will continue. They got free oil changes for people that lease or buy. Ask them about that. It's phenomenal. They're going to take care of you and make sure you're taken care of. Service team, second to none. So if you're in the market for a newer used vehicle, please check out Toyota of Warren or our friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet. It is time for the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by our dearest friends over at Joe Dickey Electric. They are everything electrical, and you can visit them on the web 24/7, 365, right at DickeyElectric.com. Zappos. Ronald?
My spark today is quite simple. It's Good Friday, right? And we've been talking about the Easter celebration all week, and I'm going to continue that today. This is the day that kind of hammers in the idea that the worst days imaginable can be eventually used for great good. You know, if you put yourself in the mindset of followers of Jesus today, when this was going down on Good Friday, you would be so depressed. It'd be the end of the world, right? You just wasted 3 years following this guy. He gets crucified. They didn't know Sunday was coming, right? Even though he told them, they still didn't know Sunday was coming. So it was the worst day imaginable for them. They couldn't believe it. And then all of a sudden, here we are. The cross is now a symbol of hope for the world. So the worst things imaginable can be used for great good. Remember that if you're ever going through anything, even if you don't adhere to the Christian faith, adhere to the fact that you're not defined by your worst days. Worst days turn into good days. And the way you respond to bad days is how people see how you can be in your good days. So make sure today, especially, you remember that the worst days imaginable in your life can be used to further really good days, whether it be in your life or the impact you make on other people.
I'm going to kind of piggyback off of that, buddy, because I've always seen Easter and the story of Easter as the greatest comeback story of all time. I mean, we love movies, we love sports, we love guys that are, kind of on the comeback trail and people that overcome. There's no greater comeback story than this one. And even if you're, like you said, someone who doesn't necessarily go to church or believe necessarily in all the things of Jesus and God and is born in the church or goes to church or anything like that, it's something that really hits home if you dig in a little bit. And I know that faith and religion can be scary and frustrating, and you just never know what to do. But what I can tell you is, man, it's already on your heart. It's already on your heart. All you got to do is open up that book. So, again, I'll say it again. I feel bad because I'm not going to be there on Sunday. But if you're one of those Christmas and Easter people, it's okay. Like, I think that's what most people think, that it's like, it's terrible to be, because they get made fun of all the time. I've been there. I've done that. The Christmas and Easter people, they get made fun of this time of year, and that's okay. I'm telling you, you shouldn't be fearful to go with your family to church. You shouldn't be fearful of somebody making fun of you. Trust me, churches are businesses too. If you're not there, it's not good for them. They want to pass on the word of Jesus. They don't necessarily want your money. They want you to be there, and they want you to learn the word of God. And, I think we're one of the few podcasts or outlets that open our door to Jesus and to God and to Christians, and are open about it. I can tell you that if you don't have anywhere to go, just go. Find somewhere to be. And I'm telling you that people will open their door to you, open their heart to you, and they'll be happy to see you. If it's on your heart. If it's not, that's okay too. Open up a podcast. Open up one of those live streaming services. And you could do it from your own home and learn a little bit more about the story of Easter, because it's just, we're not pushing our religion on you. We're just telling you, hey, we both kind of were born into it from that standpoint. But I tell everybody I know that it makes me want to be a better person because I'm loved no matter what I do or what happens to me because somebody died for our sins, not just my sins, died for our sins, and anything we ever do, we're already forgiven. So, hey, have a happy Easter, everybody. We love you. We love you. We will not be back until the following week, the following Monday. So we hope you guys enjoy your time. If you're on spring break, get it within the rules. Don't go crazy. If you're in Myrtle Beach, let's meet up. Let's do an interview so that way we have it, to put on our website. And let's break some bread down here. Let's not meet up at the Walmart, which is crazy because I might never see you. But let's break some bread down here. I know Fitch is down here. Baseball and softball. I know South Range is down here. Baseball and softball. Poland baseball is down here. Also, Lakeview softball is down here. Canfield softball is down here. If you are out there and you are down here and we don't know about it, we want to know about it, by golly. So we hope you have a great Easter. Anthony, great show today. Thanks for holding down the fort back there. You did a great job on content last night, as always. And certainly we're so much better for having you in our lives, Anthony Ronald Hartwood. Thank you so much.
Same thing to you, DJ. Same thing to you, buddy.
All right, that's going to do it for the show. Anthony, more now than ever, may sports be with you.
And you, my friend.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.